Hi, my name is Kai Armstrong, and I'm a senior product manager working in the Create stage on the GitLab CLI. Today, I wanted to bring you a short video that talks about our vision for the GitLab CLI and then what we're doing over the next year. Let me go ahead and share my screen and we can start diving in. So here's the direction page for the GitLab CLI. I'll put a link to this down below in the video, but it'll give you an idea of sort of what we're working on, what our focus is, and how we think about the GitLab CLI. So let me start with our vision. And really the things that I want to highlight here are how we're thinking about the CLI and what we want it used for. And so we're really looking at four aspects here. We're looking at configuration. So people who need to configure projects and work with the API and do things in bulk and scripting and sort of that style. We're looking at contribution. So if you're working in GitLab, how are the ways that when you contribute to things in GitLab, the CLI can enhance that experience for you? Automation as well. So maybe you have tasks that you run on a regular basis, or maybe you need to do things in a pipeline. How can the GitLab CLI sort of enable those things for you? And then flexibility. We want the GitLab CLI to be, opinionated in what it can do, but flexible enough that it's able to support a wide variety of workflows and use cases in sort of different places. So we're really trying to strike a balance between those two things. So that's really how we're thinking about the GitLab CLI and like what the vision is for it. But let's talk about what the next year looks like for us in terms of a plan. And so over the next year, there's really three things, and there's a good reason for this, and it's a lot of open-ended. And the first one is sort of the catalyst for the three things we're looking at, and that's research. And so the GitLab CLI is new to GitLab. We launched in December of 2022. And so we're still learning what else our users want for it and how they're using it. We're currently doing a survey. I'll put that down below so you can fill that out if you want to share some feedback on the GitLab CLI. But we're really trying to understand these existing use cases and looking for opportunities to sort of build on what our users are doing and making those things easier for them before we commit to anything that we're really passionate about. We really want to know what the users are. While we're in the progress of figuring those things out, we are working on a couple of things. And so one of those is paginated results. And so there's a lot of things that you can do in the GitLab CLI that return multiple results and sometimes pages of results. You might list issues and you might have 10 pages of 20 issues. And so some commands work really well with pagination and some don't inside of the CLI. And so we want to just bring some consistency to that whole experience and make sure that you can expect that when you're using the GitLab CLI, if results can be paginated, you can get all of those pages of data. And so that way you're not questioning whether or not we're giving you everything back every time. And so this is sort of a broad effort across the CLI, but it's one that we've already identified as a very early pain point for users for certain commands. And so we're going to be focusing on really building out pagination across the entire CLI there. And then another one is authentication. Authentication is a big challenge for all kinds of tools, but in the CLI, it's a challenge because you've got to create a personal access token, get that personal access token set up in the CLI, either with 1Password or some other tool to keep it secure, and then you can start using it. We want to make that experience easier for you and support OAuth, where you could just auth directly from the CLI to your GitLab instance, have all the tokens and credentials returned, and then use that as the connection mechanism. That both brings ease of access and security to users when they're using the GitLab CLI. So that's probably the next thing that we're going to look at over the course of the year is really how do we improve that onboarding experience, and OAuth will be a big piece of that for us. So that's what we're looking at for the GitLab CLI. I will leave a link to the direction page, and if you've got feedback on these, you can comment in any of the epics that I'll link or find me in GitLab. So we're really excited about the GitLab CLI. We hope you are too, and stay tuned. Thanks.